Morning, my dear second year BCom students. In the business law class, we'll start from today onwards, we'll start the fourth unit, which is very, very important. They are none other than Sale of Goods Act of 1930. There are four essay questions in this, and you'll have a wonderful, these notes I will forward into sale and sale agreement. These are the important topics. Sale and sale agreement. These notes will be forwarding it to you. And in the meantime, we'll also have a video sharing sale of goods. So this is how we are going to start today's class. We are in the fourth unit of your syllabus, and we will be sharing this in very, very near future. We will be completing this course. These are the articles and presentation of this sale of goods act. And once we have this, so let's go and talk to the Act of 1930, the Sale of Goods Act, and its importance. So while going through this, we can also know the contents of the Act and Contract Act of Goods, particulars of the sale of goods and promotion of sale of goods act. Now we'll go to a video showing the sale of goods act. Okay.
Identity separate act they have created, so that we can call it as the Sale of Goods Act 1930. 1930 onwards it got a separate act. How we can sell the goods, what are the rules and regulations of sale process, what are the rights.
It's an excellent lecture being given by Madam. Okay. So you just note this lecture, note it on, and we'll be forwarding notes and everything will be forwarded to you. So you can go to this class. Thank you.
Of seller, buyer, and when we can call it as a sale, and when it will become valid, invalid, like all these transactions, sale of goods. So goods means movable property. When I am selling my property, when I am selling my goods, when I am selling my car, my house, anything movable. So all these things we call it as a sale of goods. So all these things we are going to discuss in this Sale of Goods Act 1930. So let us see first what are the features. Before going to the features, sale of goods means it's a sale of goods. Goods are described in different ways. Goods are movable goods only. Non-movable goods, we don't consider it as goods. So movable goods, any kind of goods that we can consider. So let's go to the features of this sale of goods or valid sale of goods contract, how it can become. So that features we'll see. Total we have 6 features. The first one is the parties. How many parties will be there in sale of goods? Only 2 parties. 2 parties, one is seller and buyer. 2 parties will be there. It is also just like a normal contract. Someone is giving a proposal like I want to sell the goods, or someone is saying I want to buy the goods. Proposal can be from the buyer side or from the seller side, any side. That is why any party can become promisor or promisee. If proposal is from seller side, seller is saying I want to sell the goods, will you buy? Then he will become promisor, promisee. If buyer is saying that I want to buy your goods, will you sell? Then buyer will become promisor and he will become promisee. So that is why here you will have 2 parties, buyer and seller. Anyone can become promisor or anyone can become promisee. This is the first important rule of this Sale of Goods Act. Second one is that goods. Goods should be transferred. What kind of goods? Goods means our law has given a very good definition about these goods. Goods means movable goods only, consumable goods, electrical goods, any kind of goods. In goods they have already included crops, crops under process, under growth, or even in animals, or currency, sale of currency, transfer of currency, and also imported goods, means import or exporting the other countries goods. This everything comes under the goods only. So goods must be transferred from one place to another place. Here you have to remember, goods are three kinds of goods. One is existing goods. Existing means ready to transfer. Goods are ready to dispose, ready to use, ready to transfer. So those goods we call it as existing goods. Second one is future goods. Future, it is going to be useful. Right now I cannot sell, but future I am going to sell. For example, crops. Crops are under the process. So it's still in the process, and after 3 months or after 6 months I am ready to sell my crops, means paddy or whatever is I am going for this. So that I am ready to sell. So this is future. Or small cattle I am having. So this will grow after certain period, then I wanted to sell. So all these goods we can call it as a future. In future I wanted to sell these goods. This is future goods. Next one is contingent goods. Contingents means a sale may happen or not happen. Contingent contracts we have already studied. Contingent means may or may not. Means here also the sale of the goods we may sell or we may not sell. May or may not possible. Say for example foreign goods. We have a contract of foreign goods. Foreign goods means it may or may not come due to any accident or due to any agitation or any kind of transactions. It may or may not. That is why we call it as a contingent goods. So the goods means transferring of goods from one place to another place. This is three kinds of goods: existing goods, future goods, and contingent goods. This is second point, second feature. Third feature is transfer of property. In sale of goods, transferring the property is important. Transferring the property. Suppose say I am selling my goods, means the ownership has to change. Ownership has to change from one place to another place. Here if the ownership is not changing, then it will not be called as a sale. And agreement to sell, sale or agreement to sell. Agreement to sell means ready, means making an agreement that I am going to sell the goods in future. Here transfer of property will not be there, but only agreement will be there. But when you are selling goods, transfer of property must be happen, must occur. Without transfer of property, it won't be called as a transfer of goods. Next one, consideration. In sale of goods, consideration is compulsory. Some benefit is necessary. So, but that benefit, how it should be? That benefit should not be totally like barter system. Say I want to sell my goods, in return give me paddy, or in return give me sugar, or in return give me some animals or something. So this will become barter system. Barter system, we don't consider it as a sale of goods. What we consider here, cash should be transferred. Selling the goods, for selling the goods, in return we need to get only the consideration of cash, or part of cash also acceptable. Say some goods I am selling, return you give me some other goods and also cash, that will also going to work out. The same thing we can observe in this case, Johnson versus Aldrich. So in this case what happened, a person who wanted to sell cattle, he wanted to sell cattle, and in return to that cattle he is expecting from the buyer to give some barley and also cash. Selling cattle, expecting barley and also some cash. So the court of law said that it comes under the Sale of Goods Act, because written what he is expecting, barley and also cash. When cash is there, it is a valid contract. It is a valid Sale of Goods Act contract it comes. So consideration must be there, but cash should appear. Next one, absolute or conditional. Absolute means ready to dispose, or ready to give the goods, ready to make it as a fulfill contract. So suppose say I want to sell some of the goods, purchaser is ready, it's absolute. Absolute means easily executable, easily I am ready to make it as a full contract. So presently it is happening, that is absolute. Next, conditional. Some condition is there, selling the goods, I want to sell the goods, but condition is
Time to scout.
there. Suppose a condition like future I wanted to sell the goods, selling, but future after 2 months I want to sell the goods, condition. So anyway both are considered it as a sale of goods only. Next, last one, other features of valid contract. What are the other features? We have discussed already, valid features of contract, like proposal should be there and acceptance should be there, and also capacity of the parties, both the parties, proposal and proposee, it should be lawful, consideration must be there. So all the features whatever we have discussed in the first chapter, so all the features has to fulfill, then only it will become the Sale of Goods Act. Let me give you a recap. We have discussed the features of this Sale of Goods Act. One is two parties must be there, that is.
Let's go through the recap of this session. Wonderful explanation by the madam, the eminent teacher for the professor of the university. He has given a wonderful lecture of sale of goods. Now she's going to give the action of what has been done with this. Now, please kindly follow.
Seller and the buyer. Next, goods. So goods must be transferred. What kind of goods? Existing, future and contingent. And also transfer of property. Property has to transfer from one party to another party. Then consideration must be there. But in consideration, cash is must. Not just simply transferring the goods, then it will become barter. Barter is not acceptable. Next, absolute, or it may be conditional, and other features also. And one more important thing you must remember, in sale of goods, if at all partners are transferring, partnership between the partners, one partner is selling, another partner is buying, it doesn't comes under the Sale of Goods Act. If partnership is dissolved, winding up, then selling the goods from one partner to another partner, that is not considered it as a sale of goods. However, if the company is selling the shares to the shareholder, that we can consider it as a sale of goods, because shares they are selling, purchasing it. But between the partners we don't consider. Remember this point. Now let me tell you very important topic, sale and agreement to sell. Very important topic. What is sell? Agreement to sell. Sell means selling the goods directly. Presently I am selling the goods. Agreement to sell means in future I wanted to sell the goods. For that, making an agreement. Agreement is for future sales. Sale is presently selling. So the difference between these two, let's see in through points, few points. It is important topic. You may get in short questions. So what is this? Transfer of property. In sale, transfer of property is going to happen in the present only, because I am selling the goods. Agreement to sell, transfer of property will not be there. Only agreement, a contract between the seller and the buyer. No transfer of goods. Next, type of goods, any kind of goods. Now in sale of goods, sale means presently we are selling, and it's for the future, it can be anything. Next one, risk of loss. Sale and agreement to sell. If suppose goods are destroyed, agreement is over. After agreements, goods are destroyed. Who is responsible? Agreement is over, but transfer of goods are not happened. When transfer of goods are not happened, then it is the responsibility of the seller only. Risk will be with the seller. Why? Why means because transfer of goods are not yet happened. Ownership is with the seller only. That is why risk will be always with the seller, not the buyer. Next one, consequences of breach. Breach means if there is any disturbance or if there is any break of between the contract, that we call it as a breach. Already we have studied breach of contract. So if consequences of breach, if it is not going to happen, if it is not going to occur, if it is not going to fulfill that contract, then that's called as a breach. If there is any breach in this sale of goods, then consequences, who will be the loser? Generally the seller will be the loser. If the seller is loser or buyer is loser, most of the time seller only. If at all seller is the loser, then for consequences of breach of contract, he has a right to claim for the damages from the purchaser, from the buyer, because breach. He thought that I am selling my goods and he kept quiet, and at the end of the time buyer is not willing to buy, then it's a loss for the seller. So for that he can claim damages from the buyer. So this is simple important things you have to remember about sale and agreement to sell. Now regarding this topic, I'm going to talk in depth in the coming classes. Please be in touch and do share these videos with everyone who is struggling to learn the subject. Thank you very much for your feedback.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I've been listening to that class, and we'll also follow the other classes. He has given a wonderful explanation of all the important topics which have been covered now. The class was interesting. I'll be forwarding this YouTube video uploading to you and forwarding to you, and also scan some answers for this fourth unit, sale of goods. This will also be forwarded to your group. Thank you very much.